Illinois Democratic Congressman Krishnamoorthi, member of that committee. All right, Congressman, what can you tell us about the files that are now in the hands of the committee?
Well, they just landed in the Oversight Committee, and they're being literally reviewed as we speak. It's a fairly large set of documents. I think that there's going to be a lot of work over the weekend, and all of us are eager to learn what's in those documents.
What is it you're looking for?
Well, basically, we want to see a number of things. We want to see who was involved in enabling the sex trafficking ring that Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell led. Why is Donald Trump so averse to having these files disclosed? We want to know, who might be among us in the public that somehow implicated that might be dangerous to others. I think there's a number of questions like that and others that are outstanding.
I wonder how long, I know you said folks are going to be working through the weekend, how long you expect this process to take?
Well, this is the first production of documents. Unfortunately, they did not produce all of them all at once as we demanded. Instead, they are kind of slow walking this a bit. And so they produced this first tranche today. I think they'll produce more over time. We will demand that they produce all of them immediately. But as you know, the White House is doing everything they can to obstruct full transparency on these files. I think that's also, by the way, why they're showing the transcript of this strange interview between Mr. Blanche and Ghislaine Maxwell. They're talking about grand jury transcripts. They're talking about everything except fully disclosing the Epstein files. And that's what we should be focused on right now.
The DOJ, they're under a subpoena from your committee. You had Democratic ranking member Robert Garcia saying this week, quote, "The American people will not accept anything short of the full unredacted Epstein files. The administration must comply with our subpoena by law." So what happens if they don't? What do you do then?
Well, the interesting thing here, Alicia, is that Democrats and Republicans, at least on the Oversight Committee, are almost united in terms of their determination to get these particular files. In light of that, obviously, if the DOJ does not produce files, if they don't do what they are supposed to do legally under the subpoena, then we'd have to go to court to enforce the subpoena. And there would be a legal process associated with that. Something tells me at that point that the MAGA base would be up in arms demanding the disclosure of these files. And so this might be this one area where I think Democrats and Republicans can come together and demand accountability of this administration that's otherwise acting with impunity on every other front.
There's also the question of the public release of these documents, which is interesting to think about given the release of these transcripts playing out in real time in tandem. Democrats have warned it could be limited, it could be controlled by Republicans. How do you counter that?
Well, I think that we have to be vigilant about anything that's being withheld by the committee. I'm talking about the Republicans in sharing with the public these files. And obviously, within the confines of what we can legally do, point out anything that maybe should be produced. I think this is one of those moments, again, where I do think there's a large number of people who are watching very carefully from the MAGA base and other quarters exactly what's being disclosed, what was promised versus what's being disclosed. And exposing to them, it's almost like we have to, in other words, talk to a group of people that maybe we don't necessarily always talk to and signal to them what's being disclosed versus what was promised.
I want to connect these two stories, though the connection is rather obvious. These transcripts that have just been released by the DOJ of Todd Blanche interviewing Ghislaine Maxwell, and the fact that, there is interest in having Ghislaine Maxwell appear before the committee. Just first of all, just given her history of being charged with perjury, for example, do you think that there is actually something valuable to be gained by having her testify?
Possibly. I mean, I think I would much rather examine her or question her in a hearing setting or a deposition after seeing all the documents, because you need the documents to really understand whether, there's validity to what she's saying, and to have an effective cross-examination if you think that she might be fibbing. I personally think that she's going to say whatever the heck is necessary to try to get a pardon or some type of clemency from Donald Trump. And that's why it's even more incumbent that we get all the files. I don't think that we should necessarily question her before that happens.
And just a technical question, do you have any update on the House oversight subpoena? Any sense of if that is actually moving, the likelihood of her coming and testifying?
Well, the last that I heard, she was actually noticed up for September 29th. But the other caveat, the thing that her attorney said that they are demanding is that they only want to come to Capitol Hill after the appeal that they've made to the Supreme Court has been ruled upon. So I don't know when that's going to come down or be handed down. So I think there's some moving parts. But as of right now, there's a date on the books for her to appear on Capitol Hill.
Congressman, I need not tell you on any other day we would be leading with the FBI raid of John Bolton's home, Trump's former national security advisor turned staunch Trump critic. Your thoughts on the timing on this choice by the FBI? What do you make of this this search of John Bolton's home?
Well, look, I think that we always have to be vigilant and enforce the laws surrounding the treatment of classified information. But the manner in which they did this today, the tweets from Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and J.D. Vance suggest to me this was political retribution and an attempt to distract attention from the production of these Epstein files. I think we can predict every day they are going to do something to distract attention from the Epstein files. And by the way, the complete mismanagement of the economy, which I'm hearing about all the time here in Illinois. I'm in Southern Illinois today. People are really hurting. And they feel like this government run by Donald Trump is not doing what it promised. Groceries are through the roof, rents are through the roof, and now electricity bills have hit all-time highs. So in light of that mismanagement and the Epstein files, I think that Donald Trump is going to do everything he can to distract attention from that.
Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi, thank you so much for joining.